Hey, welcome everybody. I don't even know if you guys can hear me yet today. My name is Jonathan Tripp. This is the show, Talk Social News, episode 33. We literally have no idea what we're talking about today. And I don't mean in that, I don't know about what I'm going to talk about, but no, that's kind of true too. But it's really that I actually just don't know what we're going to talk about today. Last week we took some time off. We were producing a show. Actually, it was a live stream conference, so we took some time off in the day and to do it. And this week, you know what? I feel like I'm still just trying to get back in the swing of things. But no matter what, I want to say, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you are watching here, I'm trying to get back over to the show. Hold on. I'm trying to view it on Facebook. You guys are awesome. I see a good handful of you guys already watching. Hey, Pat. Hey, Terry. Good to see you guys. If you would share this out, that's something I've got to do this morning. We are going over to Periscope too. There we go. Now I've got Periscope up, and I can watch. Oh, thanks, hey guys. So, guys, if you are watching in Periscope, just do me a quick favor and just let me know. But I would like to, if you guys are watching. So, just real quick today. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about, but we're going to figure something out. We're going to figure something out today. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for showing up, guys. So having said that, you know what the next thing we need to do, right? I need to give you that couple of seconds to be able to do that. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Please share it out. I will be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys can hear everything. Everything is making sense today because I got to be honest with you, I haven't been through much coffee today. And apparently when I am not coffee filled, I am not as entertaining. Hey, Donna, hey, Chris, good to see you guys. When I am not as full of coffee as I should be, I'm not quite as happy. Or I don't look as happy. I don't look as awake, which, maybe that's a good thing or a bad. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. But regardless, guys, I do want to say thank you guys for being here today. So what's been going on with you guys? There is a ton in social and with what is actually happening in the world. You guys know. This past week we did a Let's Live Stream, and we kind of switched it up with it as a Twitter chat. For those of you guys that don't know, Let's Live Stream is a live stream Twitter chat about live streaming. So we incorporate Twitter chat, very traditional kind of a thing, with live streaming, which is still a pretty kind of a new thing. I mean, everybody's starting to get used to it, but we're just trying to marry the two and put them together. And instead of bringing on a guest or talking about something very live streamy or techie or super fun or anything like this, we talked about how live stream can help, and we tried to take it from the angle of, look, how does actually live streaming help? And we've kind of switched up the format. We asked 6 questions in this Twitter chat, and the reason why we don't ask like 8, 10, or whatever is because 6 seems to be the magic number for our time, that we actually get to interact with all the audience members. If you're on the Twitter chat and things like this, it really is the way to go. As far as being able to ask, for me, I need the structure, because if I don't, oh gosh, who knows, right? And it's just the way that it is, right? But we talked about this past week with Let's Live Stream. We talked about how live streaming can help him specifically with this Hurricane Harvey, and kind of taking that almost like as a model for asking the questions like, how can we do things to help in other fields, right? I mean, if there's a natural disaster or something like that, if there's a crisis of some kind, we drilled it from the big national, big organizational, just as far reaching as you can go, all the way down to specifically naming somebody that was in our community of saying, look, this person needs help, and this is how you can help, and really putting the challenge out there. And so I gotta say, that was a different show. I haven't actually done a lot of that kind of a show before, and I mean, it really kind of, I don't want to say like it is what it is, but I mean, we really just tried to put it out there and just make that as a resource, make that as some place that if a couple people could watch it and feel motivated and realize that when they do something that they're able to change the world for the better, then that's a good thing. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. That was one of the main things to do. And after that, and I got to say thank you to a whole bunch of people who have like messaged me and reached out to me as a result of that broadcast, asking that question: how can we help? What can we do? And a few other people messaged me on that and said, hey, look, let's do this, or I have an idea for this. So I love the fact that people see that there's a way and that they actually take an action to be able to help with that. And, if you're following the news and things like this, one of the things I had wanted to talk about as far as Harvey was going as an event in and of itself is some of the tech that's come out of it. And one of those things was the use of drones. The use of drones to be able to search broader areas much more quickly, reduce the manpower needed to do the actual search, so that you're able, from a manpower point of view, you're not having to send that person out 8 hours a day in all the directions, and you only have one set of eyes and things like this. The drones are able to cover a much greater area much faster, and with it's a lot less wear and tear on an individual. So they're able to perform better and such like that. So I really like that idea, and being able to see how this technology that we now have, that we didn't have during Katrina. We didn't really have that and I picked Katrina because it was such a large hurricane, and the amount of disaster was just through the roof. By the way, thank you for everybody that's giving us hearts on Periscope. I really do appreciate that. So one of the other things that I noticed kind of coming out of a lot of these disasters are the people that are, there's the scammers. And I had wanted to kind of talk and mention this. How many of you guys have heard about the different scams of, trying to say, hey, look, if they're calling up and they're asking, say, look, hey, we're able to deliver water to you. Just let us know your location, and we're donating the water, but we just need they ask for payment for the delivery, they're just going to charge for just the delivery, or they're going to be able to go in and be able to help you with your house or something like this. I mean, they're opportunistic, and it's crazy. That's the one type of scam. The other type of scam that I was reading about and hearing about from people is William, I see your comment on Facebook talking about price gouging. So instead of the bottle of water being, I don't know, like $1, they're charging $3, $4, $5 for a bottle of water. But when you're thirsty, it's what are you going to do? And I don't mean in thirsty because, look, I was walking through the mall, and it's really so exhausting doing all of that shopping, and I really could just use my favorite water bottle. And no, we're talking about people that have literally lost everything and gone through some of the worst experiences of our lives that we would never wish on anybody else. And then we're going to turn around and 5x, hey, we're going to 10x the price of water. I've seen it. I've seen reports and stuff like that. And it's one thing when commodities are scarce, so the prices naturally go up. That's one thing, but we're not talking about that. Carlos, I see your comment. Gas is nearly $3, and it was $2.19 a gallon. And I'm actually going to say like this: that's if you can actually find gas. A lot of the flooded areas, there's no gas available. They're having to deliver new shipments. And guys, I think it's interesting that we think of, there's different apps out there that are able to help track. They're able to help track like gas prices and stuff like this. And and I don't know if you guys are aware of any. You can drop some in the comments. but I use a good handful of apps when I'm traveling to know where the good prices are for gas, or where's the nearest gas station or something like this, because I mean, when you're traveling, you want to try to you want to go to where you know that there's going to be gas, and a place that that you'll be able to fill up. And down in the affected areas, sometimes it's just not an option. There just isn't any gas. I saw a post just this morning where they said that there was a line. It was a huge line ready for gas, and she was in the post. She said something like they didn't have gas yesterday. They must have gotten gas today. And it's everybody's just clamoring for the supplies. And I know we're kind of through the waters are literally receding. Some of our friends are finally able to start getting back into their home, or are being cleared and say, look, I think that area is safe. So I want to see what social and how people are sharing their experiences in a storytelling way. And I don't mean like getting all like super creative, cuts and stuff like this. And I mean, we appreciate some humor. We need some levity in the situation. But I'm looking to see, how are people actually doing? Because when it comes to Facebook and things like this, these are my friends. These are the people that are connected to my life and my world, and I want to know how they're doing. So I'm anxious to see how. I'm anxious to see how things are going to pan out in the long run. What did we actually learn for Katrina? How are we going to report on this? This is another angle that I don't think a lot of people talk about. How are we going to report on this? Is this going to be a how can we help? Or is this going to be what did you do wrong? And I want to encourage you when if you are reporting, or if you're talking and commenting on these things, I want to encourage you to try to be that encouraging voice in these times, as opposed to somebody that is just going to criticize. Because I mean, I'm telling you right now, unless you've got your boots literally wet in the water, you are to a degree, you are removed from the situation. It's very easy to be critical. You ever how many of you guys know have ever had these where we call them backseat drivers? I have 5 backseat drivers. And they're all telling me which way I need to go and how, and oh, did you see this? And I don't need that. I don't need that when I drive it. And I'm going to guarantee you, we're not talking about just simply accountability. We're talking about criticism. But I want to encourage you guys to, in your comments, be encouraging in your comments. Sometimes people that are going through a really hard time, they're reaching out and they really just want to feel connected, because they are literally outside of everything that they are used to and they know. And sometimes just having you say, "Hey, I've been thinking about you. You're on our minds. What can we do to help?" So those kinds of things. Here, let me get caught up on some of the Facebook comments here. I do see. William says he's one of the backseat drivers. Good morning, William. Donna, that way you could still help and keep helping at local. Awesome, Donna. I gotta say, thank you for all the things that you're doing, especially with working. I know you're in the travel industry, but what I would say though is that what you're doing with and talking about animals and helping those. Those that have pets and things like this. Thank you so much for doing that. I have actually haven't read as much as I thought that I would on reporting, but then again, you know what? I got to be honest with you guys. I tend to stay away from a lot of news, like news outlets. Like I am not a news junkie. That was 10 years ago for me. It's so depressing. So I'm really careful about like how much news I do. But Donna, I don't see a lot of that. I don't see a lot of those things. And Patricia says the disabled and people at risk who are without support will suffer the most. I absolutely agree. My wife was commenting on how there was this scene of a couple of elderly who are wheelchair bound. They are literally sitting in water waiting for somebody to rescue them. And her comment to me was, why weren't they rescued first? And I think that's a very legitimate question. I don't know the answer to it, and neither does she. But we're just asking the question in terms of we hate to really see we hate to see those that are disadvantaged suffer in this way. Those that are unable to actually help themselves, they literally can't walk, and so why can't we help them first? And those are the kind of things that I say, hey, let's keep it positive, but let's ask real questions. So. Over on Periscope, Terry Johnson's been commenting it up. She asked, "Did you see the dog carrying his own dog food?" Now that sounds pretty right on. It does. I'm glad. Thank you, dogs, for helping out. So Phoenix says he's working with news outlets now. That's awesome. I'm really glad to see that, because there are a lot of there is a lot of news to be broadcast, and not just filling the airwaves, guys. Not just filling the airwaves, but actually interesting stories out of this. It's sharing the journey and through the struggle, and not. I don't mean it sensationally. I mean in a look. I really want to know what you're doing. What was your experience? Please do us a favor. Honestly, document it. Do a short video. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be any of that kind of stuff. But be real about it, and we love it. Guys, last week, last week at this time we were producing a VitMug. I say we, but VitMug was producing a broadcast, a virtual conference called Ladies Go Live. It was from 8:30 Eastern time to 4:30 Eastern time. So it was a good full day event. We had tons of guests coming in and out, and panels and guest speakers and stuff like this. And so I wasn't able to do the show last week. And so I'm honest, when I miss a show, I miss you guys. I miss the comments. I miss being able to interact with you guys. And because I realize more and more that you guys are community. This is awesome. I love it. So where last week we kind of took off, and I've taken a couple of different turns for on the feel of the show, or maybe on some of the topics and things like this. And I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of. Do you like more informative, more educational? And I don't mean boring educational, but something that's that is right on. I need that. Do you guys like that kind of stuff? Do you like the social news kind of updates, or is that something that you want to get somewhere else? Because I am polling the audience. I know some of you guys do. Donis is both. Hey Joe Burke. I know you. Hey, good morning. I'm glad you woke up, buddy. 10 o'clock. I'm glad you're able to do that, man. So I know, but I'd really like to hear what you have to say about it. Gail. Gail says, "Oh, I missed you too." Thank you so much, Gail. I appreciate that. So no, I would really like to be able to do, to do a style of show, or a variety of shows that you find interesting. And what's the better way than just to ask? What is it that you guys want? Do you want not necessarily webinar style, but do you want more informative? Do you want first person? There's lots of different ways to do a live cast like this. And by the way, that was also a really slick way, really sneaky way of maybe inspiring you to do more than just a sit down in front of your phone or in front of your camera and just talk. But there's lots of different things, and I want to know what you guys think. Ryan Perez joined. Thanks, buddy. William says, I love to share what I know about social news and trends in tech, but if nobody cares, should I still? Well, William, so that's a really good point. This is the difference. Okay. So if I'm interested in, in that social news, tech, and trends and things like this, then I can do it. But my point is that I don't need to do a broadcast about it. If I'm really interested, I'll just learn about it and I will implement it in my own life, right? But if my audience might find that it's interesting, then maybe that's where you can broadcast and you can share what you've learned. And I have a feeling though, that if you're able to do it in your own voice and in your own way, and by the way, I'm also kind of talking to me too, not just you, bud. that that we or you or us or whoever's broadcasting, boy, that just got very plural, didn't it? Who's ever broadcasting, if they put their own spin on it and keeping it true, keeping it, not just like making stuff up, but if they were able to, do their broadcast about their favorite topic, and maybe that's where there's value. Let's see here. I think we are asking ourselves the same question, right? So, Ryan Perez, you actually tackle this quite often in your broadcasts. Of it's not just how to get viewers, but it's how do we share our experience and the things that we're looking for and going through in your broadcast with Hustle Zone TV. And I like that. I like that angle. I think it's got a lot of value, and a lot of people want to know that they're not alone. And I've actually asked that question too, in different, not in the entrepreneurial like motivational niche, but in other cases where it's like, you're in your business, you're doing whatever you're doing. How are you actually connecting with your audience? Whether it's vegan food, or whether it's, I don't know, what's another thing we guys talk about? Sometimes we talk about pets or kids, or, hey, that's what it is. It's coffee. Maybe if we talk about coffee. I also think, there's lots of different topics to talk about. So in my sector, in my world, and the things that I watch and things that I do, I actually wonder if doing more of like, so I did a couple of shows that were more of like, not webinar, that's a really bad way, and it makes me feel sad. But not webinar stuff, but more like, hey guys, this is how you organize a content calendar using Trello, or this is how you keep track of your live broadcast topics. Hey Jenny, good to see you. So if those kinds of broadcasts are helpful, and maybe not all the time, because I'm really not interested in just doing another webinar unless that helps you. And that's where I'm putting it out there, and I'm asking you guys, what helps you? What is the kind of broadcast that helps you? And it is a very personal thing, because some people are like, you know what, I know how to do that stuff. I just come for the coffee, Other people are like, absolutely, I have no idea. I didn't know you could use Trello that way. And Jenny, I know you are a Trello fan, or at least you were a Trello fan. I don't know if you still are. Busy writing and listening. Keep doing it, Carlos. So, with all of those kinds of things, flipping around, we talked about, some of the disasters, how some of the tech and how people are then reacting to it. We're also talking about, just as far as like, not like necessarily the future of the show, but what kind of things are you interested in to talk about? Or do you want like the social news? Do you want like, hey, well, this is what's been going on in social media? Or are you all socialed out by Friday? Because we used to do it. It used to be part of the show, and then it became all of the show. And it's been something that there are other bigger agencies out there, or bigger broadcast sets that that all they do is just broadcast about the latest social. This feature on Instagram, or what about this in Facebook and things like this. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. I still think there's lots of room to talk about it. It's just what do you actually find interesting? I've had to really learn how to be frugal with my CPU these last couple lives that I've done. Yeah, there you go. That's actually a really good good thing to talk about. Share your experiences with it. So Jenny, I know I don't know if you're still watching, but one of the things that, like, in Trello, I think one of the hardest things is making sure, for me, it's making sure that I keep it up to date with the things that I'm doing. And I've to be honest, that's one of the things I've always hated doing. Like, I love having my list, and I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 things to do. And it always pains me then when I finish it to go back in and then to check it off, because I know, look, I've got these 5 things to do. I just do them. This is not a question. I just go out and I just do them. I just, knock it out. But it's the upkeep of the system on within Trello. But that's a personal thing, and so maybe I need to put on my Trello list, on my checklist, it's update Trello. Maybe I need that little check mark to go, oh, take time in the day and to do it. But that's a totally different thing. So anyway, no, I'd love to hear what it is that you guys want to hear about. What is it that's interesting to you guys? There's lots of things out there. So I'm switching back over to Periscope. And I don't know about you guys. And so I installed this. I literally just signed up for this. It's called Egg Drop, and I'm sure many of you guys already know about this. And Egg Drop, and I had to go over to it's Egg Drop, and they're so creative and really just so innovative in that they only put out the things that they really need to, and they only need to use the vowels that they need to. So they drop the O in Egg Drop. And then, so it's eggdrop.com, but there's no O in the drop. That I installed Egg Drop, and I linked it up with my account and so what it does, it allows me to be able to see everybody's comment. And I don't need all the analytics right now. I'm not asking for that. But the big problem is that when you're broadcasting and such like that, if you miss the comment on Periscope, it's gone forever. Except with this, and now I actually get to go back and I get to see. Terry's comments. I get to see Gail. She's talking about. I love to see that people are popping in and things like this. And it's really on a broadcaster side, and it's all browser based, so it's not like I've got to run another program. This was something that was really neat. I've been waiting and trying to be able to get to use it. If I'm going to compare it, it's kind of like within Facebook Live, how you can actually scroll through and see all the comments all the way back to the beginning of the broadcast. That's what Egg Drop does. It just does it for Periscope, so that I'm able to bounce back and forth and let everybody know. It's like, oh, yeah, right. That's how I was able to catch Terry's comment about, did you see the dog, carrying his food? And we were talking about scamming earlier, and they said they charged one woman $65 for 2 cases of beer. Although, to be honest, I know that some people do pay $65 for beer, but that's a totally different other thing, I'm sure. But guys, in all reality, I mean, there's a lot to be said for what is going on in social. One of the last things I don't want to do is just simply add to the noise. I want to bring things to you guys that are interesting, that you guys find entertaining, educational, and I'm actually getting ready to plan out the rest of 2017, or at least through September, because today is September 1st. But I want to plan out some topics and some things like this that I think that you guys would find interesting, entertaining, or helpful at least. And so that kind of stuff is important. So that's why I poll the audience. I like to poll them real live and things like this. So having said that, guys, let's see here. Any other things that are kind of popping in your mind, even if you're watching us on the replay and you've made it this far into the broadcast, and kudos to you for being able to do that. Hey, Chris Ballard, it's good to see you. Then I would say, hey, if there's something that's interested to you, either just tag me or put a comment in and just tell me, like, yeah, I would love to see a show about this, or I'd love to see a broadcast where you talk about this, John. So, because that's how I know that the content is actually meeting your needs. There's no sense in just doing a broadcast about stuff that everybody already knows about. So I'm just going to ask you straight out, say, what's up? So, all right. So I know we started at 10 o'clock, right on the nose, and it is 10:30 right on the nose right now, because this is a live show. And guys, I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to be posting out the August update on what's going on. I started doing this for our Facebook group, Live Talk Nation. I'm going to be putting out and showing and congratulating and thanking our top 10 contributors for the month in August, and we do have 10. And it's interesting to see how some of the names change, but still some of them are right there, and they're there every month. So guys, with that, I think what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm just going to say thank you for everything you guys are doing. If you guys don't already know, like, I really appreciate it, and you guys really do make all the difference with doing broadcasts and being able to connect and find people. And some of you guys have been watching for a long time. Some of you guys just literally just joined this morning as we broadcast. And I want to say thank you, because I really do appreciate everything you guys are doing. You guys help really make the community grow and flourish. And for those of you guys that are, if you are listening, please, I would just encourage you, go over to livetalknation.com. That takes you over to our Facebook group. Just put a reply, put a request in. We're not mean, but we are pretty fair. And we'd love to have you a part of our community as we talk about and learn about things about social, live streaming, and how to connect and grow your business, and how to have real conversations, and because we really want the experience to be what you guys make it, and when you guys are in there, it makes all the difference. So with that, guys, I am gonna say take care, have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next week.